All right, we up in here, man. Let's do it. You ready, pretty boy?
Get your shit right, man.
Elite Digital Radio, the app, is available on Apple and Android. EliteDigitalRadio.com. Elite Digital Radio, the IG page. Elite Digital Radio, the YouTube channel. And Elite Digital Radio is now available on Spotify. It's not just a name, it's a lifestyle. Episode 4, Season 2. Elite Digital Radio presents the Elite Podcast. The Elite Podcast will provide a platform of conversations and interviews that will discuss intellectual content that may resonate with you or to you in our culture. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Them Elite Boys is at it again. I'm your host, most hated 6Ds, alongside my co-host.
Laws 24.
Hey, what's good, man? How you?
It's another beautiful day, my brother.
Yes, sir. Hey, listen, man. Elite Podcast followers. Tonight we back with another banger. Back to business, Season 2, Episode 4, the Elite Podcast. Tonight we welcome WestKeptSecret.
Let's go.
A California native, born and raised.
Let's go.
Young black entrepreneur, an A&R for RMM, and also an artist on the label. Songs now streaming on all major platforms. Elite, please help us welcome Jeff Jones, aka my dog, California Jones.
Hey, what's happening with it? It's a pleasure to be on the show, man. Thanks for having me up on this thing.
Peace, man. Peace. How everything, man?
Everything good, man. I mean, keep it a buck. Weather out here is nice right now. You know what I'm saying? We got some good things going on as far as the music goes. I'm working on a project on this end, on this side. And you see how dope we got Big Person project sounding as we speak right now. So
definitely.
Right
hey, matter of fact, before we even go into that, man, Elite, if y'all real Elite followers, y'all know Season 1, we had Purse up on here. It was an episode like 26, I believe. So y'all should know that if y'all hear the voice, y'all should know. Y'all know who Jones is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As I mentioned, you know, in this intro, the A&R RMM, you know, was Big Percy's label. But listen, man, we doing this tonight because tonight about you, King.
Man, it's been so long, bro. I've been holding down so many different avenues that it's kind of, this year I said I gotta revamp, turn things back and get back onto my situation and focus a little bit more on myself. You feel what I'm saying? 2004, I signed my first record deal with Elektra Records. Jay Brown and Sylvia Rohn signed me up there. You know what I mean? So to start from there, that was, you know, most kids' dream is already to reach that goal. And I've reached that in my early 20s. Literally while I was on Elektra Records, the label closed down.
Whoa.
So I had my vinyls pressed up. I had everything set, ready to go. College radio had the music. The radio stations in LA had my single. And then something happened in the big industry where it was Warner Elektra Atlantic. They took out Elektra, and then it was just Atlantic Records at the time. So that's kind of what parlayed me into the songwriting world. And you know, I started to just find ways to be in the studio and just stay stay active. But, you know, full circle coming back around from being an artist to being a songwriter to being an A&R to finding talent to writing for other talent. It's like now I think I've taken the full circle to prove to myself that it's time to go ahead and strike the match on myself one more good game. You feel me? So I appreciate y'all. One of the jump offs, you know what I'm saying, on the long road of what's finna go to the next level.
Definitely.
Recast that rod and go fishing again.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, but Jones, man, as I said, man, today is about you, man. So before we go dig deep, man, let's give our audience a little little background information about Jones, where Jones from, where he grew up, siblings, you know what I'm saying? Ground us a little bit so we can paint this picture and get this thing started.
Let me give y'all the full background, man. Born and raised in Los Angeles, California. A lot of my uncles and relatives were all gang members. We come up in South Central, you know what I'm saying? So having that influence in my life was heavy coming up as a kid, as well as obviously being an 80s baby, you know what I'm saying? The crack epidemic in South Central. If y'all watching Snowfall, I lived that shit. All right, nigga.
Hey, yo, listen. My daughter got me onto that shit, man. That shit tough.
That shit, man. I lived that shit. That shit hit LA hella cold, man. So at the same time as the gangs was getting on the rise, crack cocaine was getting on the rise, and this is when Jones was born. So I came into that, and honestly, that was also at the same time that hip hop was, you know what I'm saying, taking form. So that's really what was the thing I had to gravitate to. And that's what I jumped on instead of any of the negativity. And that's kept me grounded, you know what I mean? And that's driven me since childhood, to be honest. So since a kid, doing music in the choir. I think I sang in the choir once before they found out I could rap, and then I ended up rapping in the choir. So they was finding songs that, you know what I'm saying, that could fit a little rap verse. So then I came up doing that.
Oh, so you had a little Kurt Franklin in you.
Had a little Kurt Franklin in me, man, but not pause.
He said no homo.
Yeah, you gotta pause that.
This motherfucker would say, yo, Blank.
No, this to the Franklin family, but but yeah. So man, I stuck with music the whole time. So that's when we get into battle rapping in high school. That's really what got me into it. I used to really challenge all the kids. I went to San Fernando High School, went to Fremont.
That's what I want to talk about, Jones. Let's get in. Look, we on the East Coast, man. You know what I'm saying? So we know shit totally different out here. Let's get in that high school, man. Let's get into that.
So I'm at Fremont High School. That's in South Central Los Angeles. And at the time where I stayed, I had to walk through like 2 different hoods just to get to school. So I used to change my clothes. Like once I get close to school, I could put my red sweater on or something. But walking to school, you couldn't really do that. But same thing in school, man. I always gravitated to the motherfuckers who did music, to the cats who was in the ciphers, freestyling, and beating on the tables and that type of thing. DJ Quick, Tupac. Those cats was like hella influential in LA at the time, and I gravitated more to them because they had a form of lyricism to themselves, a little more than just the gang banging type of rap. Corrupt, one of them other ones,
right?
So yeah, that's kind of what spawned my music thing. I started battling cats, going from different schools, calling niggas out. Whoever the dopest rapper was at this school, they had to come see me, and that's how I used to go around, and I built kind of a name in high school for rapping. Graduated high school, started entering all the little contests, man. LA, that's one thing about LA, because everybody comes from all over the world. There's so many talent showcases and so many different avenues where if you are trying to find you somewhere to showcase your talent and get out there, you can find somewhere to do that. And especially back at that time before pandemic and all of that shit, it was buzzing. So I used to get into all the little showcases, put myself into all the talent shows and get up there and kill everything off of like freestyles from, mixtape beats. And then I got discovered by this guy named Demetrius Spencer, who was working with Elektra Records, hooked me up with Jay Brown. He runs Rock Nation now. Sylvia Roan, I believe she runs Universal or something. I'm sure y'all know Sylvia.
Okay.
They came together and signed me on my first recording deal. And shit, man, the rest is history. But, it's been a long journey, you feel what I'm saying, since high school and having that first deal and losing that record deal. I went through like a crazy phase where I just had to figure out what to do next. Kept myself in studios, kept myself mobbing, and that's when I realized that my lyricism could be utilized in songwriting as well. So I used to be in there with the R&B niggas, and they'd be humming and shit, and I'm just feeding them every bar, boom, 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 boom. I done wrote the whole song, and I realized, oh shit, this might be something for me. So that's how I fell in love with the songwriting. It was a way to keep me in the studio, and it was a way to get my bars off. I was still able to be a lyricist. I could still give them a concept they run with the concept of the song. Most of the things in R&B got double meanings and metaphors, and so it was a good way for me to stay in the studios and to still get myself my lyrics and shit off. And then eventually I started soaking in the melodies. So once I started soaking in the melodies, now I don't need the R&B cast as much anymore. Yeah, so I'm in there doing, oh shit, nigga, now I'm writing the joints. So man, ended up placing my first record. It's a song called The Recipe, E40 featuring Bun B and Gucci Mane. Y'all can look that up. I wrote the hook to that. Followed that up with a joint called The Supplier, which is Shawty Low. He got Lil Wayne on that one, and Trey Songz on the hook. Anything you want, I could buy it. That's why I always keep bad bitches beside me. I got something. It was hard, bro. Supplier was hard. Y'all go check that out.
Wait, that's you?
Nah. Oh. Nah, I was writing trap hooks a long time ago. This is 2000 and maybe 10. Shawty Low, rest in peace. So it's one of them joints I think probably, you know, progressively is gonna start kind of gravitating, because Lil Wayne, Trey Songz, and Shawty Low, I think they might even be working on some biopic shit about Shawty too. So just to see how that goes. But yeah, man. So now I'm a songwriter and I'm a hook writer. I'm still rapping. I'm still trying to do my mixtapes and everything. But ironically, everyone's gravitating to the songwriting.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because in that world, you're facilitating other people. They don't have to like me as much. They can come in with whoever their artist is, and as long as I could provide the right sound, that fit the right move or whatever the play was, they was happy. So,
hey Jones, not to cut you off, man, but peep it, because we done had our last couple of guests up here, and that's one of the things we was talking about. We were talking about ghostwriting,
man,
right? And I was asking each one of them how they felt about it. Now, listening to you and your perspective right now, to me personally, you just flipped it on.
It's different though. It's the hustle in him. See, the difference was in him, there's a hustle. And the type of hustle that if he sees something's working, it don't matter what it is. He's gonna run it till it don't work no more. So when he got into writing and he saw that it was an avenue to enlighten him to the ways he wanted and to get the things he needed for his pocket, that was it for him. In the mainstay, it was the work and the hustle. So writing for others and letting them do their thing, he's still making money and living and breathing through the song because he's out there writing it. And because he's got the hustle in him, says, yo, fuck that. Yeah, everybody take my shit, motherfucker. I'm getting paid. Like, that's the difference.
And that was for a time. And there's a time, I think, where both sides happened. And I think I know where the other cats probably got jaded and got a little tainted, because if they were rappers as well, maybe had their own insecurities, they're seeing shit they wrote go bigger than they could probably go. Maybe the artist they wrote it for just had more personality. Maybe the artist they wrote it for had a better look, had a bigger team, whatever the case may be. But a lot of the cats get bitter because of their lack of what they could do with their own talent and how well someone else did with their talent. Yeah. You know, and so I think if you're gonna do it, make sure you stay on your shit too. Yeah, otherwise, you will get disgruntled for sure. Yeah, you're gonna sit back and I did that. Niggas ain't giving me my credit. I want all the credit because I want to be able to use my name to go find me another bag. Hell yeah! At the end of the day, as long as my name is on that thing, I'm gonna find a way to make it work.
See what I mean? That's
a lot of these.
That's like Voss. How Voss was saying in Tudo Laws. He was saying that he had already did this shit, but he said we was talking about a dude that we had on like 2 episodes ago, Jones. Yeah. He was saying the same thing you were saying, right? But then he added the fact that it was just certain dudes who he wouldn't write for.
I understand that. I think I would. I have my discretions as to who I feel like I would write for too, because it's not It's not a hoe type of situation. You feel what I'm saying? You don't get to just get me at your leash. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not a nigga you just pay for and because I want you can have me. And I think that's what a lot of writers need to maintain. You know, I'm not even mad at him for that because, you asked me to write for Tekashi or you know, somebody that I may not necessarily agree with on a level. I can't do it. I'm not gonna try to do it. I can't do it. I would prefer not to do it. And that's not a diss to him, and that may affect my pockets. If that opportunity came and I could pin something and it go viral, and I wouldn't even be able to brag about it. You feel what I'm saying? So it's still integrity in songwriting. You know what I mean? As well, that's your name at the end of the day, and it will stick on that shit forever. You feel me? So like I said, these songs I wrote 10, 11, 12 years ago, but those artists are still relevant now. So I could still mention those names and utilize those names to get me into another room still to this day. So I think a lot of cats didn't realize that attaching your credit is a whole lot of credit is a lot of clout. You know what I mean? If you know how to operate in this industry.
That's that bag you was talking about.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's not always the finances, you know, your network is your net worth in a lot of cases. So it was just learning all of this shit, I think, throughout this industry. I'm a perfectionist. I don't like to depend on people either. So I became a songwriter. I became an engineer. I became a graphic designer. I became an A&R. I became a manager because I wanted to make myself better at what the fuck it is that I do. Right. And that's why even now I'm confident that I can move forward because I step back from me and I go, would I sign this nigga? And I'm, oh yeah, he's ready. And that's how I'm looking at me right now. And that's why it's go time. You feel me?
Exactly. So, so with the people from Electra, you don't fuck with none of them no more?
Man, I haven't heard from any of them, to be completely honest, man. Like I fuck with some of the cats with the production company that helped me get into the doors. But none of the producers during the time, man, some of those cats may not even be in the industry anymore because it got so shaky. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
Everybody wasn't even strong enough to make it through the MP3 phase, nigga. I was pressing the vinyls when I was on Electric. We were sending CDs out to colleges. Spotify's and everything, a lot of A&Rs lost jobs, a lot of managers, middlemen, you know, were no longer as necessary as they was. And I think keep it a whole buck, a lot of people gone. But I like to reach out to Jay Brown for sure, moving forward now that I'm getting back into my own shit. So I think I'm going with him.
Word.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's what it is, though.
We got our own. So.
Hey, I was just about to say, as you evolve and get to that level, and now you got your own. Now we can sit back and reconvene the conversation.
Exactly. You feel me? Man, I think, man, that's been the cheat code. I think, man, and I think it's a cheat code for a lot of artists. I would say is to maximize as many skill sets as possible. I think it increases longevity. If I didn't have songwriting to fall back on when Electra closed, I'd be gone. But luckily, there was another skill set that I was able to gravitate, and so again, from songwriting, I learned how to engineer. So now I'm cutting big artists and engineers, and I'm writing for them at the same time. And I met Percy, helping him do graphic designing for a lot of his projects. I did the artwork for a lot of them joints and releases that's coming out as well. So I think a lot of artists should really maximize expanding their skill sets.
Mm-hmm. All around.
Hey Jones, that's another conversation though, because you said artists. A lot of dudes can't really, aren't really considered artists nowadays, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of dudes are just rappers.
That's true.
And to make that distinction between the two, point blank and simple, is longevity.
Yep.
You know what I mean? An artist puts that work in and shows you how much he's gonna be around. These rappers with this mumble jumble, they showing you how long they gonna be around.
And that's it's reflective of exactly the avenues they're running with. TikTok, you got 15 seconds. Instagram, you got what? A minute. So these guys aren't even trained to do anything that lasts long. You know what I mean? So yeah, a lot of these cats are fly by night, and it's inevitable. You know, I don't worry about them.
Hey man, so yo, as we keep making reference to, man, you out there, we out here, man. Let's talk West Coast hip hop culture, man. You know what I'm saying? We see a lot of the videos, we see a lot of things going on as far as, you know, the graffiti and the low riders and, you know, and the truck, you know what I'm saying, the dancing and the beats. Let's talk about the culture out there, man.
Yeah. Shit, man, it's crazy because now it's almost like we back in the early 90s, man. We back low riding a lot again.
Yeah.
A long time you ain't see nobody see walking and be walking.
Yeah.
Now, LA now you see everybody like busting again. It's
also everybody locked up for 2 years and now everybody's out. They just want to be out.
Yeah. And I think what happened is when they was locked up, you went through that nostalgic phase where people started researching their own cultures, and you know what I'm saying? So I think people got to fall back in love, you know, with some of that 90, 92, 90 to 96 West Coast vibe. So now we back low riding again on Sundays. They see walking again. It's a whole lot of Dickie suits and chucks going on out here. Yeah. You know what I mean? That comes with the violence. So, you know, we've lost a lot of good rappers and a lot of good people to this blood and crip shit too.
Yeah.
Hopefully we could find a way to where we could continue to express the culture through the music without it bleeding into the streets. Right. And I understand it's necessary for my Crip niggas to talk about where they from and my blood niggas to talk about where they from and my essays. Bro, our Latin culture out here, the essays is mobbing right now, bro. They rapping, they low riding with us, we coming together. It's the whole play out here on that note too, man. And they got a voice, you know, the essays got a West Coast voice out here too. And I hope we could get the shit out in the music without it spilling into the streets. And unfortunately, we've had a hard time keeping that balance.
Yeah. So Jones, just to go back on and speak, you know, just to reflect on it real quick, as you said, your family, you know, you grew up in it. And you using that as an influence to go a different direction, right?
Yeah, I feel like I took the good and the bad. I learned from the good and the bad. You know what I mean? I consider myself real G culture. You know what I mean? Without set tripping. There was a time when somebody from my relative's hood was trying to put me on, and he checked him like, nah, this nigga doing music. You feel me? Like he was gonna fight with one of his homies. You know what I mean, for trying to even invite me to be a part of the game, because at the time he knew that there was something bigger. You know what I'm saying? I had a vision to do something bigger, and he allowed that, and he enforced it. You feel me? So shout out Milo, man, my relative. Shout out to you know what I mean, family over there. But yeah, man, the negative part of it and watching the violence and all of that shit I seen, and I knew that I didn't want parts of it. You know what I mean? But also saw so much loyalty. I also was able to see camaraderie, you know what I mean? And rules and regulations and street code and a lot of the things that these cats don't have now. I'm blessed to have grown up under those regulations, and niggas get disciplined for it, and niggas, you know, shit like that, because it's a lot of violating going on with the youth right now. So these cats need homies, man.
For real.
Guidance.
For real.
Yeah, need guidance, man. For real.
So
yeah.
We getting back to let's get back to the culture of it, but you know, how hard is it to be, you know, successful in that hip hop culture out there in LA? I mean, you spoke about it before, saying there were showcases everywhere. You know what I mean? How can you really get 10 toes down and make it?
It's tough. I mean, even if you do West Coast music on the West Coast, there's A&Rs that'll tell you that you sound too regional or you're too local. You know what I mean? Y'all probably get that on the East Coast. If somebody that's way too Timberlands and hoodies, they're gonna be like, oh, you sound too. It's like, what you mean, nigga? That's what we are. That's, you know, so that's part of the industry, I think, in every culture. I've had cats from the South tell me the same thing. Like the A&Rs in Atlanta be like, you sound too Southern. It's like, what am I supposed to sound? So you could run into that out in LA, but you know, you also got everybody from all over the world competing with you as well.
Yeah.
You know, you got the best rapper from Atlanta said, I'm coming to LA. The dopest nigga in the Bay said, I'm coming to LA. And the dopest dude in Miami said, I'm finna go to LA. So you also have this hub where you walk into a club and there's 30 motherfuckers who think they're the dopest rapper ever. They all got chains on. They all, you know what I mean? Like, so now it's just like, oh my God, like, who do I believe? Who do I believe is the dopest rapper anymore?
Everybody got their starter kits on and shit.
Everybody got starter kits. They got fan bases. I'm like, damn, I can't, you know. So that's another thing, bro. LA is the hub of every, you know, it's a hub of a lot of talent. So you got to really be on your shit. 10 toes down is an understatement. You got to be 10 toes down every single day, 9, 10 hours a day. You feel what I'm saying? And that's how I look at it. Consistent quality content.
So that was one of the things I was getting ready to lead into, man, that you just spoke about. Like, as far as like that LA love compared to like that LA East Coast love. You know what I'm saying? Do you think more love is shown out there, you know what I mean, from your own people, or do you think more love is shown from out here towards your own people?
Man, that's a good question, because it seems like now that we're in such like a Spotify driven world, like there's cultures are blending now. Like there's cats from Long Beach that sound like they's from New York.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So now it's like it's hard to even differentiate who's from where anymore. So I think it's starting to lighten up any prejudgment on sounds. You know what I mean? There's some cats, I believe in Detroit, that sound very similar to some of the cats in the Bay. Mm-hmm. And they work together. And it's like, oh, that's crazy that like that they gravitated to this sound and so on and so forth. So I think that's the good thing about the internet era, is that we are starting to blend sounds, and you could be from the UK and find what you're looking for, whether it's a West Coast.
More exposure today.
Yeah.
More exposure and more access today. You know what I mean? Like before, if you didn't have that cassette when we were kids, you know what I mean? If you didn't have that Walkman, it's like we're not even from that iPad era. So it's like you had to get together with the crew to hear it and to vibe it and be it. You know what I mean? Let alone being able to see it across the country or in another state. Yeah. Whereas today, you can do this from your living room, and we're all across the country, and we can all see each other and feel each other and reflect with one another. Absolutely. So the exposure and the access today is unlike any ever in our history. Exactly. Which is a good thing, because it allows you more access to say, oh man, that's a jam I like. Oh shit, look at that track. You don't have to be locked into the one thing or the one area you're into, because you can have access to all of it.
Exactly. I agree. And you know, if you're the dude in Detroit who does a certain sound, you don't have to find somebody in Detroit who likes that sound. Maybe there is somebody in another state or another country, another city, somewhere else who actually fucks with what you do.
Yeah.
You know, I tell cats now, like, if you do something, just do it. Go hard and just do it, because it's not so regionalized anymore. The world ain't so small. Somebody who looking for what you do will find what, you know, could find you. You know what I'm saying? You know, there's politics on the West Coast, obviously, with gangs and all of that too. You know what I mean? Certain labels won't fuck with you. Certain people won't fuck with you if you're
that East-West distinction's always going to be there.
See, that's another part of the culture, though, Jones. Because I mean, let's keep it funky. I mean, we on the East, we got gangs, but it's not like on the West got the gangs as far as the real gang life.
Yeah,
gang life. So in that sense, like the culture, like you was talking about, like the essays, you said the essays be rocking out there, you know, we don't really have that up here.
Gourmet.
You know what I mean? So that part of the hip hop culture, we kind of lack it.
That's true. But see, we don't have like the Puerto Rican culture out here. We don't have, so there's a Latin culture that y'all have in the.
We have the Brazilian, a very strong Brazilian influence,
you know what I mean?
South American. I mean, right in Framingham is Little Brazil. That it's 30 minutes from me. It's called Little Brazil, and they fly that flag constantly and have the festivals. And I'd be going out there to eat the food 24/7. So it's like, yeah. I mean, honestly, that's what harkens back to the way we are today. There's exposure into everything, and that East-West vibe has always gone hard. But what I've seen for me as somebody who's grown up on the East, but was in LA twice a month for 7 years because of work, the thing is East and West have traveled back and forth to each other so much and intermingled and worked so much that hustle and that hunger exists in those areas. But it's funny because it's like that LA area to that New York area, and there's your similarities. You know what I mean? When you go up west, you know what I mean, to that Seattle, Oregon, it's a completely different vibe. Just like when you go south to that Florida region, it's a completely different vibe. So it's very eclectic that East and West has melded to the point where they're just both hungry to prove they're the best.
Yeah. And the South has made such a big statement in hip hop too, that the East and the West gotta make some noise to prove it.
Well, I mean, I was just gonna say, the funny thing is,
you know what I mean?
you just brought up gangs, but yet it's actually Center America right now that is running the gang shit more than the East and the West Coast. The Ohio in that it's funny because there's been a lot of study about it and the craziness. Chicago alone with just the killings. So it's funny to see the transition of where things are in the world today to where they were versus the 80s, 90s.
Facts. Luckily, I was able to transition through all of it. You know what I mean? So I take that as a superpower. You know what I'm saying? Even moving forward. Some people see age as a downfall. I see that shit as a superpower. Even the fact that I've been able to see a lot of musical trends come back around. So it's like cats doing R&B now that I was around for. I'm like, oh no, I know how to really do this R&B. Like, y'all listen to some shit I was in when we was doing it. Like I was in putting these records. Popping. Like, so it's a cheat code now coming back around, even with the West Coast sound coming back around. Like I grew up in the 90s, so I have a different connection to it than even these younger cats who are starting to learn the culture a little bit and try to sound like a Quick or try to sound like a Dog Pounder. I was there, you know what I mean? So I understand, you know what I mean? That's why being able to work with the artists I've worked with, I have an easy way of connecting with them and making sure that if I'm writing a hook for them or if we're working together and collaborating, I can find that sonically where they're supposed to be at. Because I've gone through it and listened to music from everywhere, you feel me? So that's a dope thing about that.
Hey, Jones.
It's funny too, because I was just thinking to myself, you know, back in the day when we got home from high school, bro, it was like you had to get in front of Yo MTV Raps to get your hour of music, because otherwise, if you didn't make Yo MTV Raps, you wasn't getting your hour of music. Whereas today, you can just type in whatever you want and it's instant to you, and put it on the you know what I mean, the iPod, and you got it. 20, you know what I'm saying? So it's funny to see the difference of the exposure today, whereas we were like, yo, motherfucker, we gotta be there at 3:30 or we're gonna miss it. And then we like, yo, so
and we only got what they gave us.
Yep, that's it. You had that hour, bro.
Yeah, you only got what they gave us, and you had to run that shit, learn it, study it, read the words. Now you go and you can dig a discography up. You can find their mixtapes. They got shit on TikTok. It's like, man, it's hard to even capitalize an artist right now. So those are the good and the bads. Real talk. That's the good and the bads. Because a lot of those artists, you know, what are they doing? Like they're going back re-recording their own albums. in order to get some money back, right? Like I think Ashanti did it, Taylor Swift did it.
A couple of people, and that's just it. It ain't little names, it's big names.
Big names. You feel me? Now you see how
everybody gets
that era and this era too, because they're like, hold on, I could just record my own same shit,
re-record it and release it again.
And release it again. Now I own the performance rights, and now I get the royalties. And but does it have the same feel to it? Who knows? You know what I mean? So I'm curious to see how this plays out. But I think it's a smart way to go up against these corporations right now.
Right? Why constantly give somebody else all of your dollars and collect pennies on your work? But you know what? I mean, that's just the way it is here in capitalist America. You know what I mean? You're always a slave to somebody unless you're a slave to yourself.
Facts. And that's where the We Got Our Own movement comes in, man.
That's it, man. Once you can realize, once you realize you can empower yourself to be free enough to be your own slave, that's when you know you on, man.
Look, that just threw me the alley-oop, Jones. You know what I'm saying? We done sat here, we done talked about the entrepreneur, we done talked about the artist, we done talked about the writer. Now, let's get into RMM, the label, man. Let's go, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk this A&R spot, man.
Man, so we really started. He brought me on July of last year, and that's when we were working on his project. He decided, I want to do a project. Okay. So he hit me up like, Jones, I know you do what you do, so you think you can make me? Absolutely. He had kind of, gotten into, like a lot of folks in LA right now, we get into the marijuana game and the liquor game.
Yep.
Kind of mind focused on that.
My game.
You feel me? As you should, player, as you should.
Shout out to True Legacy. Yeah,
so he on that. I told him, man, like he has a lot of influence, a lot of power with the RMM label. And he gave me the opportunity to prove what I could do with his project. So from literally finding every track to writing every song to engineering every song, recording every song, finding the studios for every song, I literally released it, distributed it in the whole nine so that he could know that I had the capabilities of doing what I do. And then he also noticed the network around me. I always keep a lot of talent around me. So just trying to be better than the labels that I've been signed to. The publishing companies that I've been signed to, trying to do better for the culture of West Coast and for just the urban community all together, and beat out these corporations like the Spotify's. We decided we're gonna put the RMM label back together and start, digging in. So now that we got his music out there, I'm working on mine, and we're looking for talent as we speak. And I think that, man, as we continue to grow, y'all gonna hear a lot. Very, very well connected, very strategic team. A lot of hard workers, a lot of hustle, and I can't imagine it not going all the way up for real.
Word. Okay, so now, being an A&R for the label, what exactly does your job consist of?
So what I've been doing lately, and what I've kind of put my focus on is I want to find new talent. But I want to find driven and hungry talent. So as of right now, I've been just doing that on my own. Other than that, I've had to facilitate and keep Percy's project functioning. We also handle all of the tracks that come in, all the musical submissions. I handle all of those submissions that come in. He just emailed me something. Somebody wants to use We Got Our Own for, I think maybe a television show or maybe a store. I forget what it was, but so I gotta handle that call very shortly. Get on to that, and hopefully that situation. But getting started, man. To be honest with you, right now, we about in the 7th, 8th month of working together. So it's a slow progression right now. So responsibilities have really just been all me, taking on as much responsibility as I can to create as many opportunities, bring in as many talented, people, and create as much awareness to RMM as possible. But moving forward, there's going to have to be expansion. There's going to have to be a whole lot more. Hey,
but Jones, that says a lot for yourself right there, though. Not to cut you off, that says a lot for yourself, though, man. Just just the fact of what you're saying and what you're doing, and him
It's
entrusting
the hustle in him, bro.
look, him entrusting that all in you for you to get that shit banging.
Yeah.
I give you love for that, man. That's what time it is, man.
Man,
I look forward to session with you live once I'm free, bro. I got 5 months to freedom, and once I'm free, bro, I'll be back in LA having some fun.
Man, come sit down with me. You know what I mean?
Oh, we gonna.
Come sit down with me. I manage Steve Lobel's studio as well. Outside of outside of Lemonade, which is a weed dispensary.
Yeah.
So having that access as well with working with RMM, it kind of duels as a real super. it worked out. You know what I mean? Everything worked out.
I have a lot of access to a lot of marijuana companies in LA myself. Unfortunately, I was coming back home 4 years ago in 2018. I had 1,600 pounds on me and I got stopped. And so I had to keep my mouth shut and go away for a little while. And now I'm just waiting to get free off the paper. And once I'm free, I'm back to me, baby.
Ain't that a bitch how now it's all legal?
Bro, the DEA wouldn't even pick up the charges on me, motherfucker, because it was legal what I was doing where in the states I was in. Yeah. But because I was driving through Nebraska, where it was illegal, picked up the charges and fucking ran me. 170K, locked me up 5 days, no call. You know what I'm saying? Like, they ran it hard, bro. Milked it for every penny they could. I lost 780K on that fucking deal. It was ridiculous, bro. And now it's 4 years later, and I'm still waiting to get off that paper.
But you got a cheat code though too, man, because the way the marijuana and the music have
I know.
The way those two things have married, right? You're already lined up. You know what I mean? So those are some gifts that a lot of young cats don't have. You got to know what your gifts are. You got to know what your gifts are. These cats don't know how to smell it. A lot of cats don't even touch seeds anymore because it's so corporated. You know what I'm saying? So you know a little bit more. You're already savvy of some shit that, you know what I mean? So that's where season comes in. Hey. Real talk.
Hey, so Jones, you said you out there doing that field work, but what you listen to know when you know you like, oh, okay, he got something right here. We need to listen to this motherfucker right here.
Man, I just gotta feel it. You know what I mean? I listen to every type of music. And I really.
So, and actually, not to cut you off real quick, I'm gonna let you go. Y'all looking for any genre?
We're looking for any genre. I don't want to marginalize RMM, and I'm gonna tell you why. It's because specifically what I'm looking for are hybrids. I want artists who cross lanes. I want artists who cross skill sets. I don't just want to find an artist who says, yo, I'm a dope singer. If that nigga ain't never picked up a digital camera and couldn't possibly film his own video or help edit his own artwork or whatever the case may be. Right. Consistent quality content is key. And
prima donnas.
You can't depend on other people. I don't care how much money's behind it. Some things that money can't even buy. You know what I mean? Just being where I was last week, working with Tony Yayo, I would have had a hard time finding a person who could call that, make that happen, and pay somebody to put me in the studio. That could have been a hard setup without just being available, being on my hustle, and being flexible, and being on the grind, and having separate skill sets. So I think, you know what I mean, as we find hybrids, as the industry continuously grows, we get into this metaverse and so on and so forth, where genres are gonna, I think, be dead anyway. So when it comes to music, I want to find as many artists who know how to seamlessly cross in between those lanes.
We want to go in every lane.
You know
why drive in one lane when you can drive in all four? I mean?
You see how Drake could gas you and then just seamlessly sing on you and then seamlessly go pop. Wayne could do the same thing. So Thug does the same thing. Roddy Ricch kind of getting there. I think he can get there, but you know what I mean? It's a new era of hybrid that I think we're starting to have to deal with, and you're gonna have to deal with it. You know what I mean? There's more Kanyes in this world than just the one that we're watching the documentary about. And I think that's what people need to understand. And he's the one person who said, fuck a box. And that doesn't mean he has to be the last one. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I mean, you ain't a little different. Everybody ain't got, but you ain't got. But he is starting to trend. If he's able to bring some of us with him, in this movement that he's starting, then it'll be powerful. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think what he did along with this documentary, it did two things. I know it gave a lot of people hope, a lot of people who've been hearing no's, a lot of people who didn't think anyone understood what it felt like to be surrounded by the top people in the game. Being in the room, like the songwriters and the ghostwriters you was talking about, they've been in the room with these cats and they trying to get you to listen to them, but there's already other priorities around them. So Kanye, at least this documentary shine a light on the fact that exists. And it also is making people a little more hesitant about sleeping on these cats that's sitting up in these corners in these studios, or that's slowly throwing their music out. Now videographers is ready to jump on board and help you film your shit now more than they were last year. Now, you know what I mean? And people is listening a little more. So at the very minimum, that documentary opened eyes and at least gave a little more air for a lot of up and coming artists. So I'm appreciative of that alone. You know what I mean?
I'll give you that definitely. And you know what's crazy? Because I'll be real, for a while I ain't fuck with you. I just wasn't feeling it, you know what I'm saying? But after you know, his maturity and seeing his life and seeing what he do, I got a lot of respect for him, man. I got a lot of respect for him.
Is he here?
He's at 450.
Okay. My bad. My son on the way. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like personal Kanye, is, you know, that's for anybody to, you know, like or dislike. But the drive, the passion, the things you could take from it and keep, yeah, that's her. Shit. All right, I'm gonna have to. I think I'm on dad duties, y'all. Hold on. Hello?
Hey, I think it's kind of a lobby.
All right, for sure. Here I come.
Okay, do you know?
I don't even like hearing her voice.
Get the kid and run.
You know what I mean? At least we all men here, but
Hey,
that's another thing I relate to Kanye on and don't relate with him on is his baby mama and family situation. You know what I mean? He's a little crazy with what he's doing. I know I'd have been locked up if I bought a house next to my BM. Somebody would have definitely been like Jones.
Hey, Jones. Hey, listen, man. I don't want to mess you up, dog. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you to have no Kanye situations, man. So let's get ready to end this shit, man. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Yo, listen. Before we get up out of here, man, I want to give you a chance real quick to promote any projects that you got going on, any upcoming stuff you got coming out.
Oh, man, I appreciate it, man. Off top, man, I need everybody to go check out Big Percy's project. We got our own, and Order My Vodka. They both out there. They're available for streaming everywhere, man. That's RMM off top. Up and coming, I'm finna drop my project. It's called Money Motivated. It's a whole project that's driven about getting your own and you know, trying to build your brand and build your own game and get your own pockets right. So y'all look out for the Money Motivated project. Love my son, Young Jones. Y'all gotta tap in. He got 2 singles out.
Oh, word. Okay. Hey,
Yeah.
we're gonna
come back. We're gonna come back. We're
And
gonna
there's
come
the
back.
music.
Hey,
Listen,
listen.
Music will play it on the app.
got you. I'm a single. Dancing Like Cha-Cha, Red Light, Green Light, they both out. My 9-year-old rapping phenomenon. So he dropping his music too.
Yeah.
I'm working on some stuff. I could briefly, I'm working with Matt Barnes and 1500 Sound Academy on a television show. So as we get that all the way signed and sealed, I'll double back and we could talk about that.
I'm about to say, so we already setting up episode 2, part 2 already.
Yeah, we got to set that up. We got to do a double back. And I could prepare for the East Coast and the West Coast time too. That's really what fucked me up. I ain't gonna lie, because I was like, oh shit, I got to be ready at 4. It's not 7. But yeah, but I appreciate y'all for having me, man.
Hey, Jones, before we get up out of here,
y'all part 2, man.
Hey, listen, before we get up out of here, we got to end with our fave 5 real quick, Jones. I'm gonna hit you with 5 quick hitters, man.
Please, let's go.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Favorite R&B artist?
I have to say it. It's R. Kelly.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
Listen,
I am definitely looking in your
Hey
motherfucking
Jones,
closet.
hey Jones, no. Hey Jones, fuck that.
I am checking your motherfucking closet when I come to visit.
I said R&B artist. You know what? That motherfucker's the king of R&B, man.
Can't stop.
You can't argue it.
There's
No, it's true.
R&B artist without R. Kelly.
Yo,
I'm sorry, so I'm gonna.
it is what it is, bro.
Now, if I could do a disclaimer and take it from Kelly, I'm gonna give it to T-Pain.
Okay. All right. Give me what's your favorite verse, Jones?
Oh,
one that you spit all the time.
These raps, long as you feel them to the day that I drop, you'll never say that I'm not killing them. Cause when I am not, then I'ma stop pinning them till I collapse. Eminem, Nate Dogg.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my favorite verse, man. He talks some shit.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Favorite place to be?
Studio.
Dre or Easy?
Oh, Dre.
Okay.
Gotta say Dre. I mean, there was nothing.
Easy made that money, but Dre pushed Easy to rap.
What I was gonna say is, in what case? You know what I mean? Now, personally, I would kick it with an Easy, probably a lot more than I would kick it with a Dre.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? Easy was just a real nigga. He felt personal. I feel
that was my dude.
I know Lil Easy. You know what I'm saying? JoJo Simmons and Lil Easy work on growing up hip hop, and they come to all the time. Yeah, so I know Lil E, you know what I mean? And he got the same personality. So personally wise, for sure, I will fuck with Easy E. But, you know, being the fact that Dre's able to live longer, he was able to accomplish a lot more things that I drive to and aspire to accomplish. So, but if Easy was here, the businessman he was,
yo, that motherfucker he made that. Yo, that's my boy. Easy forever and always will be my boy.
He might have been one of the first hip hop billionaires, man.
Yo,
he on his shit.
Because he was a businessman.
That motherfucker made money on Dre well after him and Dre was done.
You understand
that man was on his
shit. Me? Yeah.
That man, look at that. For me, that subject's funny, but Easy will always be my boy.
Yeah. I mean, dead and alive are always complicated comparisons.
Yes, it's hard.
I have to wonder where he would be compared to where Dre is.
You have to look at what Dre did, though, and the fact he was able to break away again, create Aftermath, break away again, to find Eminem, to do the things that he's done and pay the contributes that he's given. How could you disclaim the man? You can't. The man, and let's be honest with you, he, out of all the white, you know, you could talk about like the Beastie Boys coming up, and you could talk about, you know, Vanilla Ice. You could talk about what you want to talk about, but he epitophized, like he's on a level that's so different. It's just, it was a gift that kept on giving.
Yeah, and to think that gift is still, that gift of Eminem still gives to Dre.
Oh no, trust me. So that's where Dre took. That's where Dre took one out of Easy's page.
Ding ding, ding.
So, all right, come on, get him his five. Get him his
what's the other one?
Last one. All right, Jones, you ready for this one?
Oh,
Jones, what's your favorite holiday, Jones?
Favorite holiday? Oh man, I like holidays. I'm gonna say Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve. That's when your family get together, have the big time and shit.
That's when my family get together. We do gumbo night. My son come through. My whole family.
Yo, this boy be eating like me.
We get a pot of gumbo, about 3 of them this big, bro. And we.
I gotta hit you. I lived in Louisiana for 4 years. Why you got the gumbo? Why you got the Southern tape? What's up?
My family. Yeah, we got Louisiana, roots.
I love it, bro. I lived down there 4 years, bro. We gonna eat good.
All right. Peep this shit, Jones. It's Christmas Eve, right?
I'm listening.
It's Christmas Eve, the family, everybody gathering. You get to invite 5 people, dead or alive, to come kick it with you. What 5 people are you inviting?
Jay-Z's there.
Hove, number 1.
Oh, I really want to, man. Oh, that's good, bro. Because there's some people I want to have some conversations with
Talk
that are
about it.
no
Let's
longer
go.
here. And
Dead
then
or alive, 5 motherfuckers.
Dead or alive. Okay.
You got hold?
I have to have that conversation. Tupac is there.
Okay.
Because I feel like I could get a lot of the other knowledge from some of the other cats. I can get some of that from Tupac.
Okay.
Dang, Dave Chappelle's there.
Okay.
Dave Chappelle.
Yo, this is a good conversation, my man.
Because that dude, yeah. I need the entertainment and the knowledge at the same time.
Critical thinker. Dave be funny, but that motherfucker be a critical thinker, bro.
Yo, listen,
I love that shit about him, bro.
Big up to my man Marshall Brandon, man. Marshall Brandon's story. He on tour right now with Dave.
Man, he probably cold. My boy London Brown, he's on the show Raising Canaan. He was also on the show Ballers. He plays Uncle Marvin.
Yeah.
Canaan. Born and raised in South Central, but he came up doing stand-up comedy up under Dave too.
Word.
He's a cold talent. He's on the East Coast. I might tap y'all in with London Brown, man. Raising Canaan, cold talent. All right, I got two more. I need my powerful woman. I'm trying to figure out which one. Oh, that's my son. What's up, boss? You ain't here yet? Dang, I can't find you. All right, here I come. Let me look around. All right. Okay, I'm looking around.
Hey, Jones.
All right, man, let me get up out this thing.
Man.
I'm gonna say I might have to put Rosa Parks on there with me.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna have that conversation. And shoot, I might need to sit down with Eminem too.
Gotcha.
It's all heads, bro. All heads.
I might have to sit down with
my brother.
Man, appreciate y'all, man. Y'all be safe.
Salute to you, man. Go do your thing, man.
Hey.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you right now, that conversation at that Christmas Eve dinner, bro, that's a lot of serious talk. There's a lot of laughing going on, but there's a lot of serious talk in that conversation.
Oh yeah. Hey, yo, man, Elite, appreciate y'all tapping in, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Them boys is at it again.
My phone, yeah, my phone, yeah. Until I found out she switched. The little bitch which one on they told me she's she only after my chips. Yeah, that funky dog head bitch. I found out she's a funky dog head bitch. I found out she's a funky dog head bitch. I found out she's a funky dog head bitch.
Hey, I don't like that hoe, you gon' wipe that hoe. I'ma dick that hoe, then you kiss that hoe. I dismiss that hoe, now you miss that hoe. But I'ma treat her like my fit, I'ma switch that hoe. You gon' love that bitch, don't trust that bitch. I'ma duck that bitch, after I fuck that bitch. I don't call that bitch, but if I call that bitch,
she's a funky dog head girl. Yeah. Until I found out she switched. The little bitch which one on they told me she's she only after my chips. Yeah, that funky dog head bitch. I found out she's a funky dog head bitch. I found out she's a funky dog.
shout out my OG. You know I'm giving out flowers, but you know I'm not giving no flowers to no funky dog head bitch. Her mama or her grandmama. Shout out the homies, man. It's cocaine, not lemon head. Mixmaster Spade. Toddy T. You know I mixed in a little bit of that Battle Cat, Roger Troutman. You hear me? I also put that Bay Area love twang in there. E40. Ugh. We gonna have the club chanting and shouting, man, like that down south. Bitch. Ho. Shout out Lil Jon and the East Side Boys. Okay. Funky dog head bitch.
Music.
Let me hold a little something. I bring it right back. Hell no. What you smoking on, nigga? What you smoking on? Let me hit that. Hell no. Like, you ain't fucking with me? Hell no. Look here, bring bread with me. Hell no. I can't walk in with you. They take me home then. Hell no.
This bitch called my phone like I'm low and low. Stop calling. Big bro, can you loan me some? Can I hold like 40 bucks? I said, ho, you can hold these nuts. You gon' run me mine, that's a nigga name. Or do something strange for a little change. All my real hitters feel the same. If we ain't getting paid, you gotta do the thing. Bitch, I got mouths to feed and bills to pay in the realest way. If you ask me for something, I'ma tell y'all. Broke ass motherfuckers, hell no.
Let me hold a little something. I bring it right back. Hell no. What you smoking on, nigga? What you smoking on? Let me hit that. Hell no. Like, you ain't fucking with me? Hell no. Look here, bring bread with me. Hell no. Like, I can't walk in with you. They take me home then. Hell no.
Thrash, deuce, uno. Everything I do real sumo. Black on black too though. Man, this ain't nobody like you know. Boss like Hugo, still act frugal. Keep her automatic, what she used to. She subscribed to my vibe like Hulu. You ain't talking money, better scoot. Break better, fake dead, I need my recoup. Fuck out of my face, sipping on that ace. Ain't wearing no cape, I don't taste, I replace. Can't afford my rate, smoking on that Zah. Reaching for my shit, I'm like, hell nah.
Let me hold a little something. I bring it right back. Hell no. What you smoking on, nigga? What you smoking on? Let me hit that. Hell no. Like, you ain't fucking with me? Hell no. Look here, bring bread with me. Hell no. Like, I can't walk in with you. They take me home then. Hell no. Let me hold a little something. I bring it right back. Hell no. What you smoking on, nigga? What you smoking on? Let me hit that. Hell no. Like, you ain't fucking with me? Hell no. Look here, bring bread with me. Hell no. Like, I can't walk in with you. They take me home then. Hell no.
Bay Area. It's all Cali love. North to the south. Talk to 'em. Be on 'em. We in the big leagues, baby. Lemonade. True legacy. Jones, we did it. Tell them. You're welcome.
I don't need nothing from nobody, put that on my mom. Got my own bottle of vodka, pounds of marijuana. You talking models, cars, and houses, already bought them. Y'all see me sitting on the throne, leave me the f alone.
We got our own.
My nigga, we got our own.
We got our own.
Yeah, we got our own.
We got our own.
We in a league of our own. You see me sitting on the throne, leave me the f alone.
We got our own. I'm in my own whip. I drink my own shit. I took a long sip. I'm on my own Pineapple Express. I wrote my own split. Cause on the road to success, I took a long trip. Business owner, plus I'm a Pomona, known crip. With hoes always get chose. They want a cold pimp. To talk some sick shit, they get a cold sore. Plus I got a fresh fit, I got my own store.
I don't need nothing from nobody, put that on my mom. Got my own bottle of vodka, pounds of marijuana. You talking models, cars, and houses, already bought them. Y'all see me sitting on the throne, leave me the f alone.
We got our own.
My nigga, we got our own.
We got our own.
Yeah, we got our own.
We got our own.
We in a league of our own. You see me sitting sitting on the throne, leave me the fuck alone, we got our own.
That's why these just thirsty, cause I'm getting paid. Could be that root beer float, man, or that pink lemonade. Cadillac that I'm dipping with the Rider gang. Engulf beef with these like I'm Tiger, man. Cause I'm the plug, wanna connect with P. Cause I'm with Snoop, I'm a true legacy. I got the money, it ain't like a can't afford it. RMM, but you better
I don't
support
need
it.
nothing from nobody, put that on my mama. Got my own bottle of vodka, pounds of marijuana. You talking models, cars, and houses, already bought them. Y'all see me sitting on the throne, leave me the fuck alone, we got our own. My nigga, we got our own, we got our own. Yeah, we got our own, we got our own. We in a league of our own, you see me sitting on the throne, leave me the fuck alone, we